Hi everyone, this is Mike at Brash Monkey, and this quick tip tutorial is going to show you how to designate custom trimming settings for each individual animation. So with an art pack like this, and especially if I want to export a sprite sheet of my character to use in game engines like RPG Maker MV, or just my own custom game engine that does not support direct Spriter playback, I'm going to need very specific trimming for each frame, which in this case is 128 by 128 pixels. And as you can see, I had already added a guide image to make trimming extremely easy, and I would just hide that guide image before doing the actual export. And as you can see, this one animation, when exported as keyframes only, is going to provide the entire sprite sheet with the 3 frames each of the walking in each direction. But we're also going to want to export the portrait of the character in our batch exports. But for this portrait image, we're going to want to crop very differently. It won't be a small 128 by 128 pixel rectangle here like the walking animations. So here's the cool new feature in Spriter that allows you to set these custom trimming settings for each animation in a very visual and intuitive way. All you have to do is find this little rectangular crosshair icon here directly on the top of the animations palette, and when you click that, you'll get this magenta mask, and then it will automatically start your trimming based on the actual pixels. In other words, it'll trim out all of the transparent pixels that it possibly can, leaving only the artwork. But you might not want it trimmed that way, especially if that guide image was not there. Then we'd have a problem where the animation would trim slightly too small as compared to what's needed by the engine. So as you can see, all I have to do is hover near the edges of the current trimming mask or trimming rectangle, and I get these arrows. Then I can left click and drag to change that however I see fit. And because I gave myself that guide image, it's very easy to make sure it's pixel perfect. However, this will appear when you do click on this. It was on my other screen, so I had to drag it on for you to see it. But as you can see now, this gives me in pixels the actual coordinates based on that sort of 0, 0 spot there, which you could call the hot spot of the animation. This will give you all of the numerical data, and will actually, you could just type it in to make your changes. So as you can see, this allows for extremely accurate and very intuitive control of exactly how your animation is going to trim, and this setting can be for each individual animation. Another cool thing is that you can actually still use the timeline or the 1 and 2 keys to go through all of your frames to make sure that the trimming that you set up is not going to accidentally crop anything out. So as you can see, that's very easy to use and very convenient. And let's say all of the animations here, which actually most of them do, require the same exact trimming. Then I could just choose apply to all animations in entity or apply to all animations in all entities, and then click apply. And that just created my default setting, which is accurate for almost all of these animations. And then I would only need to fix the animations that I need trimmed differently. I would just click this again, and it's a little hard to see here, but you can see it's still set to the 128 by 128 pixel setting that is appropriate for all other animations. But obviously for this portrait, we would want something different. Something like this perhaps. And then I would just make sure these are not checked off, so it will only apply to this one animation, and then click apply. So now let's say I want to export my character as a sprite sheet. I would just go into File, Export to PNG or GIF, and make sure it's set how I need it to for this particular animation. The most important thing, by default, it's trim rect to animation. This will make the trimming as tight as possible. This is the default, but we don't want that in this case. We want to set it to custom preset. And that's what we just did. We created the custom presets. So you make sure you choose set to animation preset, make sure all of the other settings are how you need it, And in my case, we need keyframes only and horizontal frames 3. And then choose export. And then I'm going to export it on the desktop. We'll call this character sheet. There we go. And here is, I'm dragging it from the other screen now. Here is the finished sprite sheet. As you can see, each frame trimmed exactly as it should be, and the sheet properly arranged and ready for use in a game engine. And of course, I can do the same thing with the portrait image. So I'd choose File, Export to PNG, make sure this is set to Animation Preset. Keyframes only, in this case it's only one image. Separate numbered images, since it's only one image, that makes sense. And click Export, and then I'll save this to the desktop. We'll call it Portrait, and save. And let me see if I can find it on my desktop. Here it is. And there you go, trimmed exactly as I had set it. So that's it. That's how to set your custom trimming settings for each specific animation, or to set a custom one and then apply it to all animations. I hope it was helpful. Thanks a lot for watching.